And we are live! And we are the Nerdfighteria Online Book Club, and we are talking about the TFiOS movie, yay!
Yes.
Okay, and I'm attacked. Yeah, he's not allowed on the table. Okay, so thoughts. Okay, first, did you like it?
Yeah. Yes.
Me too.
How about you?
I enjoyed it. And I only actually saw it once, which was surprising.
I saw it 3 times, and I almost saw it again today.
Oh my gosh! I have only seen it once, but I would see it again.
Did you cry?
I kind of cried. Not really. But I had more emotion come out of me than when I read the book.
Yeah. I managed to hold off on the crying until they got to Gus's pre-funeral, and then that was when I started crying.
The acting in that scene was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, Ansel's, like, crying, like, I couldn't do that.
Yes, well, there's a reason I am not an actor. But yeah, no, I cried at the same place, the pre-funeral, and I look over at Tracy, and she's like got tears streaming down her face. To get off the table. No, we play games, and then if he gets on the table, then he knocks all the pieces everywhere. So, yeah, and then I cried through the end of the movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was just really amazing throughout the whole thing, and I thought they did a very good job of being true to the spirit of the book, and including not all of my favorite lines, but a lot of my favorite lines.
It was very faithful to the book, but like they added a lot of just like inconsequential dialogue from the book. Just like little random dialogue. But like, I don't understand, maybe they had to cut it for length, but they didn't have the discussion about the Shakespearean quote that originated the title.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it either.
Like, I can't imagine... Well, I can imagine people who haven't read the book being like, why did they call it The Fault in Our Stars? It makes no sense. It's so random.
Well, I think you can get that from the whole, like, star-crossed lovers idea, which
Yeah.
I think she did say in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
But The Fault in Our Stars isn't about star-crossed lovers. It's about, like, humanity, I guess.
I mean, I think it is about the idea that life is unfair, which I think you get, but that you can make the most of it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that the trailer kind of, if you the fault in our love and the fault in our life and all of that, and so the fault in our stars, because of the trailer, I don't think people will question it quite so much.
I didn't see the trailer.
Okay. I started watching TV on like Xfinity days ago, and I saw the trailer like every time I watched the show, like 4 times. It was ridiculous. Every commercial break.
I didn't want to consume any of the movie before I saw the movie. Like, I wanted the movie to be completely new to me when I saw the movie.
I wish I had done that, because I definitely watched the trailer when it came out, watched the extended trailer, watched the sneak scene, and so watching the movie was actually a really surreal experience, because I felt like I'd seen the movie before. I knew the entire plot of the book, I had seen the trailers, I had seen the actors, and so I felt like I was watching a movie I'd seen before, which was very weird. So then when there were scenes that I didn't expect, or there was a lot of stuff in the trailer that didn't actually make it into the movie, which I know happens sometimes, but a lot of the trailer was not, there were a lot of lines in the trailer that actually weren't in the movie, so I was waiting for them, and you know, I didn't reread the book purposely because I didn't want to like have in my mind all these lines that I was expecting, you know, but I was waiting on the ones that I saw in the trailer, and those weren't there either, so it's kind of weird.
Weird.
I mean, I wonder if they did that on purpose though, because I mean, they know which lines are like the lines from the book. I mean, just look at frickin' Tumblr, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go far to figure out what people from the book really, or people who read the book really like. Right. And it might have been a marketing type thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like in the sex scene, I'm like waiting for her to say, "We're a hot mess," because I've seen the trailer like 5 times, and that's like the one part I remember. And then I'm like waiting, and then she never says the line, and I'm like, wait, what happened to the line?
Yeah.
So stuff like that was a little weird for me.
What about the limo scene?
But I
wanted to talk about the limo scene.
What's that?
I wanted to talk about the limo scene. What was that about?
Like, why did they have him riding on a limo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of them going to pick him up, because that eliminated that entire conversation, the overhearing of that conversation with his parents. They
probably just wanted to exclude it for time's sake, make things simpler.
Well, I mean, but that's a completely different mode of transportation. Like he comes to get them as opposed to they go to get him. And one of the things I liked about the scene in the book was it was a huge piece of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that may be why they left it out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, see, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, maybe that is why they looked it up, because it is this huge piece of foreshadowing, and then, you know, you're a astute moviegoer who is, you know, thinking about what's going on. You don't get that hard-hitting impact from the scene where they're talking on the bench.
Right.
I guess, if people are thinking about it already. But it showed his vulnerability in a way that I don't think the Return to Funky Bones really did.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was really good. I mean, how he
it was good.
Like, seems very weak, and like she needs to take care of him. I thought that scene captured that pretty well.
Oh, and I agree with you, but I mean, there was, I don't know, there's more of him being an angsty, don't tell me what to do with my life kind of teenager in the argument with his parents than there was in the Funky Bones scene. I liked that they went back to Funky Bones. They kind of tied the beginning and the end together. And, I mean, Half Moon Shake. But,
yeah, they definitely made, I mean, even the fact that they made him 18 instead of 17 had made a change in his character and his, you know, vulnerability versus being an adult, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think of that change? Do you think it matters?
It didn't even occur to me.
I thought he was 18 in the book.
Now she's gonna go get it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember in the funeral scene in the book, that's when Isaac says his 18 years, and then she says, "I'm only 17." And he says, "I'm giving you more time, you interrupting bastard." And then in the movie, it was 19 and 18.
I don't know. You're still in that I mean, for a lot of kids, you're still in that teenage high school place, even though they're 18.
Yeah.
Look, you're right.
Okay.
Sorry, interrupted.
That's okay.
Interrupting bastard.
What did you guys think of the fact that they didn't include, like John Green has talked a lot about how in the book, Gus is Augustus for like the first half, and then Hazel starts calling him Gus, and then he gets really mad about that and is like, "You used to call me Augustus," and they didn't do anything like that. She called him Augustus and Gus on and off throughout the movie.
That annoyed me. Like, because I guess it's a good theme in the book. It like it's an important character development in the book. I don't know like exactly what it would signify precisely.
Oh, I think we lost Eli's sound. Okay, oh, she's gone. Okay. Yeah, I think in the book, it's both. John Green has talked about the fact that like Augustus is a very strong name, whereas Gus is like a little kid's name, and it shows him moving from strength to vulnerability and weakness.
Yeah.
But I think it also makes sense, and this is why I was surprised they didn't do it in the movie, is that Gus is a nickname, so it seems like as they got closer and more intimate, that would be the name that she would go to for him, but she just kind of uses both on and off, and I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've also heard John Green talk about the book too much. Like, I know like what he was going for with all of his different symbols and.
Yeah.
So then when they don't include things like that he's talked about as being very important in the movie, then it seems strange to me. But again, he only had so much influence, so.
Yeah.
Okay, what I missed? Recap real quick.
We weren't talking about much.
That's a great recap.
We were talking about the Augustus Gus thing.
Okay.
And then why they did that, and then I said I heard John Green talk about the book too much, like what he intended to mean with all sorts of different things, and so then it seemed weird that they left things out of the movie. But he only had so much influence, and they could only include, so many things. So
then you have a shift in perspective. I mean,
right.
So we're inside Hazel's head, and then for the film version, that would be really weird. So, I mean, they're necessary changes based on change in one media and two, the way the story is told, like narration.
Right.
Well, I noticed. What? Like when I saw the movie, I was at a certain point in rereading the book, so then I like continued rereading the book after I saw the movie, and like the end in the book is really drawn out, like after his funeral, and they must have had to like cut it down for time's sake but they did it really well.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
4 scenes and put it into 2 scenes, basically.
I was really glad that they had Van Houten get into her car as opposed to like randomly popping up from the back seat, which was like the one part of the book that So that made way more sense. I was glad they changed that. Oh, but going back to what you were talking about, the medium, how that makes a difference, I think because in the movie we can physically see Gus become weaker, we don't necessarily need the linguistic tricks about his name and things like that I think having that in the book helps see that progression more clearly.
And we also didn't need, like, how many scenes are there where they're hanging out in his house and just kind of doing things as he's getting sicker? And there wasn't a lot of that either.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that Funky Bone scene again. That was very well done in terms of seeing the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left out, I think there were several parts in the book where they talked about cancer perks, like getting the chance on the plane ride back. They didn't include that part. they mention cancer perks like at the beginning when he's driving.
Yeah.
Don't really return to that, but I think you kind of get the idea from that one scene.
Mhm. I wonder how many people haven't read the book that went to see the movie. Like, I can't imagine a lot of people didn't read the book.
Well, but I mean, it did better at the box office than the Tom Cruise movie, so
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of tickets.
But how many people went to see it twice? Like me.
The same weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I went with a group of people, and 3 of us I know had read the book. One person had read half of the book, and then his friend, I don't know if she had read it or not, but he had never finished it, and he didn't really remember anything. But he said he really liked the movie because I was like, what is the perspective of somebody who
Yeah.
has not read the whole book? So I think it holds up as a really good movie and really good story, regardless of whether you read the book.
Yeah.
I think so too. My niece, one of my nieces took her boyfriend who hadn't read it, and when I saw them, he had enjoyed it, but my niece was like, he cried more than I did, and they're teenagers. It was kind of fantastic.
I'm really excited for Paper Towns movie. Paper Towns is my favorite John Green book.
Oh yeah, I think the movie will be really good. Again, I heard John Green talk about Paper Towns way too much even before I read it. So I think we talked about this, Eli, in our
we
book
did.
that like I felt like it was overly symbolic, and I like understood all of the symbols and what his messages are trying to get across. So seeing it in movie form, I think will kind of eliminate some of that and just focus on the fact that it's a really enjoyable story, because I really did like the plot of it.
And isn't the guy who played Isaac
Yeah.
from Q? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
See, maybe this is like going to be The Fault in Our Stars, like the steamroll that gets John Green's books made into movies.
Yeah.
Next, Looking for Alaska.
Yeah, somebody's already got the rights to it. They just need to make the movie.
And on the heels of The Fault in Our Stars, I think it would do very well.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens with. I think there's 3 other big ones this year are The Maze Runner, The Giver, and If I Stay.
Mm-hmm.
If I Stay in particular, because it's not a big action movie. You know, it's got that kind of love story thing going on, much like The Fault in Our Stars does. So I'm interested to see how well that does. I'm seeing quite a bit about that on Tumblr right now too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were looking to The Fault in Our Stars to see whether the like young adult genre of books turned into movies could succeed, because it was like I was reading something in Entertainment Weekly about this, where it was like The Hunger Games came out, and then like everyone was like, oh, let's make YA books into movies, and then like the next few didn't do very well, and then they were like, oh, maybe this isn't really worth, these stories aren't really worth telling as movies, but they were kind of looking at The Fault in Our Stars. Oh, I just lost my video.
We can still see you.
Oh, okay, there we go.
I don't know if that's really if it's really an accurate measure though, because John Green is so popular. In the book,
Right.
It's so popular. So I mean, I would be surprised if another non-dystopian action movie or non-dystopian non-action movie measures up.
Like If I Stay, it might
Like
not.
If I Stay.
Because I haven't read the book. It's by Gail Forman, right?
Yeah.
I haven't read any of her books.
I haven't either.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I read that on the heels of 13 Reasons Why, which is
I heard good
also.
things about it.
Hmm?
I heard good things about If I Stay.
I think the second one is better. The one told from the guy's perspective. But
What's that called?
where she went.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, that was one I read on the heels of 13 Reasons Why, and so that was the big comparison. And If I Stay made it to film before 13 Reasons Why did, even though 13 Reasons Why got picked up first. That was by Jay Asher.
I don't hear that.
She's nodding.
I've read 13 Reasons Why, but I don't know that I can really envision that as a movie with the way that it's told as a book. I think they have to really rework it a lot.
Yeah, the audiobook is very, very well done. And I think, I really think it could stay there and be fine. But, I don't know. We'll see. I think If I Stay is going to be the real test of whether or not these movies are going to really hold up.
Yeah.
Well, see if it makes money.
I think this happens anytime that you have like a particular type of book or movie where you're like, oh, this is the new popular thing, and then everybody wants to make movies just because they fit that mold. I think The Fault in Our Stars is important because of the type of story it tells. Like you said, like it's not a big action movie. It's not, I don't know. The kind
not
of
dystopian, doesn't have the angels and demons thing going on.
What's that?
So it's non-dystopian. It doesn't have the angels and demons thing going on. It's not super. I mean, it's contemporary.
It's realistic.
Yeah, that maybe maybe not necessarily. And that's I guess what I'm saying is like I don't want people to look at the success of The Fault in Our Stars and say, oh, we need to make more young adult books into movies. I think the lesson is there is an audience for more human, emotional stories that don't necessarily have explosions and things like that. Or stereotypical love stories, or whatever you want to, whatever stereotypes you want to talk about. Has a female lead.
What was I reading? I was reading an article, and I don't remember where it was, but there was an interview with Patrick Ness. And I was gonna say strong female lead, but Patrick Ness was talking about Viola, the female character in the Chaos Walking trilogy, and was talking about how he didn't write her as a strong character. He wrote her like the women that he knows, and to be a good match for the male lead in his books. And that's, I guess that is, why do we have to call female characters strong female characters,
right?
As opposed to just, hey, this is a well-written character,
right?
I think it was on Tumblr.
Yeah, because I think strong female characters can be just as stereotypical as weak female characters. I mean,
Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more about having a realistic, everyday, three-dimensional female character in a leading role that I think is needed. Yeah,
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to involve killing people.
Right. Exactly.
Anything else? Other thoughts?
Not for me. Did you want to say anything else? Okay.
You should join us.
Okay.
We're really low key. We're not scary at all. I'm a
tell.
No, that's my teacher. That's my teacher coming out. I tell my kids that all the time. It's like, I'm not scary. We just like to talk about books.
Yeah.
But I teach 13-year-olds, so. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit stop. The doodle poll is open for Catch 22. I haven't started it yet. Have you guys started it yet?
I gave up on it.
Really?
I've read it before, but I'd like to reread it before we discuss it.
I read like a quarter of it, maybe. I don't like it. I guess I don't know. It's
Okay.
there's like
Well,
no
you know,
plot.
you should come and talk about why you abandon it because
I think I will. Actually, I want to come so I can like hear what other people think about it.
Exactly.
Explain it to me.
cool. I'm all for that. You should come and join us more often, Pam.
Yes.
I guess I should. I'm like camera shy, I guess.
Well, and like I said when we were talking on Facebook, you don't have to if you don't want to have the camera on, you don't have to put the camera on. You can turn your camera off and you'll just have your picture and still be involved.
And microphone shy.
Oh, good lord. You can put it on mute and communicate with us in the chat, and then we'll just talk about what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.